Hey guys, it's Tamana and I'm uploading my belief changer video. So this week we heard from Inez White, and she was a Māori woman who's been moving, I guess, back and forth between Australia and New Zealand. So growing up, she had a strong sense of culture and family when she was growing up. This is something I believe I had, and I thought was very valuable, and I really cherish it. She also talked about how that kind of built the foundations of her life, really, and how she goes about everything. And she wouldn't be who she was today without it. She then moved to Melbourne, where she did a degree in animal science, and she worked as a evaluation manager for a company in Melbourne. And then she got moved out to become a valuer for rural properties. And in this job and in her office, there was about a 1 to 20 ratio of women to men, which would have been, I guess, pretty daunting for her, and I guess would have been hard to cope with at first. And additionally, they were all mostly in their 40s, and she was only 23 at the time. So this would have been challenging and isolating. Not having anyone to connect to that's same age and gender. She also talked about how negative people in her life really affected her, and she then went on to talk about how beneficial it was for her and for most people about with surrounding her with positive people. So I think this is something that lots of people, I guess, face within their lifetime, in all fields of work, all aspects of life, whether it's sport, business, study, anything. And I think you need to take it, I guess, upon yourself to realize who is going to be negative and who is positive, and then seek the positive, surround yourself with positive people as opposed to negative. She also then took up the role of teaching other valuers to learn technology. This is like learning to use the iPads, new systems and programs to, I guess, aid their evaluation and valuing of the properties. She then moved back to New Zealand in 2013, bought a house, and had to go back and do another year of study because in New Zealand they didn't value the studies that she did in Australia. She found these old school beliefs in New Zealand were challenging to her, especially when she was coming back from Australia, where she felt that she was a lot more free to do her job. She felt like in Australia she was valued for the quality of her job, as opposed to back in New Zealand she was seen as a young Maori woman that didn't really know much about her industry, when in case that was opposite. She began to work instead for mainstream, and she focused more on Māori people, and she wanted to connect to our customers through creating videos. These videos reached 150,000 views, and she then began to think, wow, I can really make a living out of this, I can really help my community. So she started to do 12-week courses. Initially she thought that she'd only have a few people, but she had a massive amount of traction. She then shared her knowledge for free, and this is something I really want to get into, I guess, as a way to connect to other Aboriginal peoples, especially youth, and I want to share my story about how I created my business and maybe inspire them to create their own. I think that's something that I really want to get into, and something that I've really taken away from this especially is her initiative to think I could be helping mainstream, but I think my efforts would be better focused on my own people. Cheers.